Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Formula 1 has been blessed with a new, fresh and interesting grid for the 2025 season. A few old names have left the grid, with Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas and Kevin Magnussen not set to feature. Unfortunately, Guan Yu Zhou is also gone, and Sergio Perez's future is up in the air. Lewis Hamilton moves to Ferrari, Carlos Sainz Jr. to Williams, Esteban Ocon to Haas, Nico Hülkenberg to Sauber, and Oliver Behrman, Liam Lawson, Jack Doohan, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Gabriel Bortoleto are about to launch full-time careers. And Franco Colapinto, Felipe Drugovich and others are waiting on the sidelines. The 2025 grid has had a real mix-up. But are these the right choices? I think the majority of the teams on the grid could have had a better driver pairing for 2025. And so this would be the 2025 Formula 1 grid if I was in charge of every team. If someone who knew what they were talking about, instead of the likes of Toto Wolff and Frederic Vasseur, who are clearly just winging it. So let me know who you'd want on the Formula 1 grid next year in the comments below, and let's jump into the video. Stake Sauber. It's hard to argue with Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto. Hülkenberg has had one of the best seasons of his life with Haas in 2024, and Gabriel Bortoleto has won the Formula 2 and 3 championships back to back. But 2025 is a bit of a wasted year for the team as they await Audi's entrance on the Formula 1 scene. I do think this is a smart signing for Sauber. I would like to have seen Zhou Guan Yu stay in Formula 1 a bit longer, but I can't complain about their silly season business. Maybe they won't finish last in 2025, maybe they'll score more than 4 points, maybe I'll be the new Pope. Williams. This team, on the other hand, will have some changes forced upon them because I have a better destination for Carlos Sainz Jr. in mind. Alexander Albon would absolutely be my choice if I was a Williams boss, but with Sainz off the table, who would I choose to replace him with? Logan Sargent can hopefully find gainful employment somewhere else because obviously it'd be Franco Colapinto. The Argentine only got 9 Grand Prix in 2024 and showed enough to spark interest amongst several teams on the grid. I think Cadillac could be a good fit for him in 2026, but with a space open at Williams and a Colapinto with no other options, after several big crashes ruined his CV, it's the obvious choice and Williams would be better off for it. They don't have many other options. Their junior program is currently lacking, with Jimmy Chadwick, Zach O'Sullivan and Luke Browning being the best options there. They could make a move for former driver Valtteri Bottas. Personally, I think that's a waste of a seat. So Albon and Colapinto would be the optimum choice if Williams couldn't have Carlos Sainz Jr. And in my opinion, they should not have had Carlos Sainz Jr. RB. I believe this team is about to get another rebrand, and I hope that's true because RB is an awful name. Their real-life 2025 driver lineup depends a lot on what happens with the A-team, so even this can be taken with a pinch of salt. Liam Lawson is on for some role in 2025, either with RB or Red Bull. I would keep him at RB for at least a full season first. He's only had 11 appearances across 2 seasons. He's finished 9th 3 times, and it has been impressive, but not earth-shatteringly good. So at least one full season at RB would surely be beneficial for the team as a whole. Joining him is a hard choice, but I wouldn't put Isaac Hadjar in that seat. I don't think the Frenchman is good enough. Runner-up in Formula 2 is great, but he lost that championship from a winning position. He finished out of the points in 7 of the last 11 Formula 2 races of 2024. I would make a shock sideways move for Nick Cassidy, who has weak links to Red Bull and is a fantastic driver. One of the best in motorsport pound for pound. Get him for a year. If he's impressive, keep him in the picture. If he's another Nick De Vries, cast him off for Isaac Hadjar or Oliver Gerfer. I think an all-Kiwi lineup of Liam Lawson and Nick Cassidy would be an awesome fantasy pairing. Haas. After an incredible 2024, an all-new partnership is risky for 2025. Losing Hülkenberg to Sauber and giving Magnussen the boot meant they had no choice, and obviously I would keep Oliver Behrman in the seat. He did a fantastic job in all 3 of his starts in Formula 1, and he deserves an opportunity of a full-time season to see how good he really is. I wouldn't pick Esteban Ocon though. He's as good as Kevin Magnussen, and you got rid of Kevin Magnussen. I would have taken a punt on Zhou Guan Yu. He's more consistent than Magnussen and Ocon, and deserves a shot in Formula 1 beyond 2 mediocre seasons with Sauber. If Sauber won't have him, then he would have made a decent driver for Haas, at least for a couple of years. Alpine. And the French team made the right move in getting shot of Ocon, who outside of a couple of freak results, has never been a top performer for the team. Yes, he finished 8th in 2021, but that's his only top 10 season since joining Renault in 2019, and there have been a lot of DNFs. I wouldn't make any changes at Alpine. Pierre Gasly is a fine driver who scores decent points for the team. Jack Doohan's a good driver who deserves a chance in Formula 1. Paul Aron and Victor Martins are waiting in the wings if something needs to be changed. So yeah, all good for Alpine. Aston Martin. This is an obvious one. Lance Stroll would not be racing if anyone but his dad was in charge at Aston Martin, and they will be pissing away whatever Adrian Newey and Honda can give him in 2026 if they keep him in the seat any longer. So out with Stroll. And the other obvious choice is Felipe Drugovich. The 2022 Formula 2 champion has been sitting on the sidelines watching a race for long enough. I don't want him to spend the rest of his young career racing for Alonso to retire and racing for Vector in European Le Mans. I would at least make plans to get rid of Fernando Alonso as well, but not in the same season as Lance Stroll. Not with so many changes coming up. His unique level of experience is a valuable commodity for a team trying to force their way to the top. Jack Crawford could turn into a top talent. It's worth keeping him involved. He might be a replacement for Alonso one day. Stoffel Van Dorn is also a test driver, so if they get really desperate, he's alright, I suppose. Mercedes. I absolutely would not let an 18-year-old Andrea Kimi Antonelli anywhere near my Formula 1 cars. He can have another season of Formula 2 and then be a reserve driver for a couple of years. He has definitely not done enough to warrant this meteoric rise to Formula 1. George Russell would stay on, as he is in real life, but he needs a new partner, and there aren't many proven drivers out there. Lewis Hamilton would stay gone. Toto Wolff has admitted, even if it was an accident or not, that he is past his best. Frederick Vesti is a reserve. The Dane finished runner-up in Formula 2 in 2023. He's pretty good, I guess. Not a very exciting choice. Esteban Ocon would be an option. He's managed by Toto Wolff and experienced enough to fill the seat until Kimi Antonelli is actually ready. I would go for Vesti, younger than Hamilton, but more driving experience and proven results than Kimi Antonelli. And Ocon is not really a good replacement for Lewis Hamilton. I'd keep Esteban Ocon on the side to help mentor the two youngsters, but I'd be more interested in giving Vesti a chance than keeping Lewis Hamilton or putting Andrea Kimi Antonelli in that car too soon. I still think the young Italian could ruin his career with this move. It's definitely too soon. But if Lewis Hamilton wasn't going to Ferrari, then he absolutely would be their pick for the seat. He has too much value outside of Formula 1, more than any other driver. I wouldn't pick him, but Toto Wolff absolutely would, and it would be the right business decision. Red Bull. This is the question Christian Horner and the Red Bull hierarchy are asking themselves at this very moment. What are they going to do about Sergio Perez? Why on earth did they give him a 2-year contract extension? I think both me and Red Bull agree. Sergio Perez will not be racing in 2025. Liam Lawson is the most likely to take the second car, and I do disagree with that. Yuki Tsunoda deserves a shot at that seat. He has been at RB for 4 seasons. It hasn't all been great. Tsunoda has made mistakes, but he is also a very quick driver on his day. With RB, he gets to Q3 fairly often and scored decent points in 2024. He absolutely deserves a couple of seasons in that seat. If not, then why have Red Bull strung him on for the last 4 years? Same thing happened to Pierre Gasly. You can argue he underperformed and had to be replaced mid-season, but he did wonders in AlphaTauri and has done great things since for Alpine. Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda at Red Bull, with Liam Lawson and Nick Cassidy at RB, would be a hell of a combination. Ferrari. Whilst Mercedes keeping Lewis Hamilton would be a good business decision, Ferrari signing him is a terrible one. Replacing the solid and consistent Carlos Sainz Jr. with a 7-time champion looks good on paper, but it threatens to upset the dynamics of the team, with Leclerc and Sainz working well together. We will have to see if Hamilton and Leclerc work as well together. Outside of that, Lewis Hamilton is not the driver he once was, and he's moving to Ferrari just as they have pulled themselves back up to threatening to win a championship. I would stick with the two drivers that brought you to the dance. Charles Leclerc going for the title, and Sainz scoring enough points to support his teammate and help Ferrari win for constructors. It was working. Ferrari were getting better. My fear is Lewis Hamilton makes the team top heavy. Leclerc and Sainz all the way for me. McLaren. And our final team on the grid is McLaren. No shock here, I would keep Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Obviously right, they are probably the most exciting young driver duo on the grid, and McLaren have just won for constructors for the first time since 1998, and Lando Norris was a genuine title contender. I don't see this changing for many years to come. So they are the drivers I would pick if I was in charge of every team on the grid. A few would stay as they are, like Sauber, Alpine and McLaren. Unsurprisingly, a few would be absent from the grid, and I know there'll be comments saying Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari or Mercedes, but it's my list, I'll do what I want. Let me know your grids in the comments though. Who would you replace? Who would you keep the same? Who would you like to see in Formula 1? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Member content is now available if you so wish. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.